a group chat featuring young Republicans from around the country was leaked that was full of racist, anti-Semitic, hateful rants, and many Democrats and Republicans are strongly condemning this, but not the vice president. He sees things differently. Take a look.
Focusing on what kids are saying in a group chat, grow up. I'm sorry, focus on the real issues, don't focus on what kids say in group chat. The reality is that kids do stupid things, especially young boys. They tell edgy, offensive jokes, like that's what kids do. And I really don't want us to grow up in a country where a kid telling a stupid joke, telling a very offensive stupid joke, is cause to ruin their lives. And at some point, we're all gonna have to say, enough of this BS.
So, just so we're clear, some of the members in this chat are between the ages of 24 and 35. So they're not kids.
They're my age, some of them. They're
yeah,
adults.
you know, so these are adults. And I have to say, is this the way you want young Republicans represented in this country?
No, and I want to speak to this because one of my first jobs out of college, I was the national spokesperson for the college Republican National Committee. So we were actually just on college campuses, over 2,000 chapters. I traveled all over. I knew all our campus chairs. I knew hundreds and hundreds of members. I'm friends with many of them to this day. I never heard or saw anything like this. But at that time, Mitt Romney was our North Star. That was the GOP nominee for president in 2012. Had we seen it, we would have fired them, denounced them, and moved on with our lives. And I think that speaks to two things. There is a dark underbelly in our politics that has allowed racism, it's allowed hate, it's allowed misogyny, and we've just kind of normalized it on the right. And there's not enough folks who are willing to just call it out for what it is. And then secondarily, there is this crisis of young men. This is almost universally young men of a certain age. I don't want to stereotype them, but they don't look like guys who have a lot of friends, who have girlfriends, have intimate relationships. I don't mean this to be mean, but the stats speak for themselves. If you don't have community and you live online mostly, you can be radicalized to hate people. You don't engage with people. You don't have empathy for people. It's very scary, and leaders need to wake up to it.
They also say, we've said this on the show, that the frontal lobe does not get developed until you're 25. What's Trump's excuse? No. Anyway, the only thing I want to say about this topic is that the Republican Party needs to deal with this. They need to find their better selves, find their better angels. The way I come from the Eisenhower era. I mean, that's how old I am. And Eisenhower was a decent Republican, a good Republican, and Ronald Reagan too. And why not go back, find those young people who espouse that type of behavior instead of this crap, as he calls it?
Well, I hate to say it, but I'm not surprised that that chat exists. I wasn't surprised that men, adults, ages 25 to 34,
There
white
were white
men,
guys, by the way.
white men were speaking like that. They checked every white supremacist bigot box. They were anti-Semitic, they were misogynistic, they were homophobic, they were racist.
They were stupid.
And they were dumb. But my life, my lived experience as an Afro-Latina in this country helps me tell the uncomfortable truths about this country with real clarity. And that's why I wasn't surprised. And I think many people would like to deny that lived experience. I'll say it again, because I've said it on this show many times. Trump's rise, in part, was based in racism and white supremacy. And that is the truth.
Remember,
and those of us who said that, when I said that, and those of my friends that said that, were accused of hyperbole and racism ourselves. I wished that wasn't true, but it is true. And when I say things like that, when I say that white supremacy is thriving on the right, when I say the future of the Republican Party embraces white supremacy, please believe me the first time. And only look at this chat as your proof that it is alive and well in the Republican Party.
well, it should be denounced.
And they are, I have to say, they had both sides have been
denouncing it.
Denouncing
yeah,
it.
And some of these people
Yeah.
have lost their jobs, their positions, as they should, because these weren't just a dozen young Republicans. They were young Republican leaders within their states.
There were almost 3,000 pages of the chat.
Yeah, it was a lot of chat. But the thing is, one of the people I want to refer to, one of these kids, was a man named Peter Junta, who's 31 years old. So I usually stop using the term kid a little earlier than that. But he said at one point in the article that this was a long-term character assassination. And I just want to tell that man, it's not an assassination of your character. You don't have any. Because when you read the words this man, he was one of the more verbal and vocal on this list, the depths to which they went were actually shocking to me. I read it, and my friend Derek was there, and he said, Sarah, you should have seen your face reading this article. It wasn't just one of these alone would have been enough to raise a full conversation here. There were over 251 of the most, I have never heard some of these things in my lifetime about every group under the sun. And one clarification, though, Sonny, on what you said about the right, there's some extreme problems with anti-Semitism on the left, which is a uniting force of that cause. But in this instance, I think it's dangerous that J.D. Vance would conflate sophomoric, immature behavior with pernicious, vile, unacceptable, unaccounted for.
I got a note. They were not all guys.
No, there were a
women.
couple. There were a couple of women.
And we don't know if they were all white people. I just got a note.
But can I mention, because what's come up in this conversation is this individual, Jay Jones, who's running for Attorney General in Virginia. He's about a 36-year-old man running for Attorney General, who had some leaked text messages come out where he aspired to violence against Republicans. I don't know why it's hard for people, and I'm not this table.
I saw that.
Let me just say this.
But only Democrats denounced him, no Republicans.
But he's a Democrat.
Yeah, he's.
But that's my
and
point.
the Democrats
we
denounced him.
Yeah.
But if I can finish my point,
All right.
Denounce both. We don't need to equivocate. We don't need to say, well, he did this, so then Republicans.
But here's
both are terrible. Both are equally
the bigger
awful.
problem. Here's the bigger problem. If you can't admit that there is a problem at all, this is part of the reason why women and gay folks and folks of a different hue get so angry. It's because the vice president isn't denouncing this.
That's the point.
He is a man who is married to an Indian woman.
He's also
And
41, so he could have just graduated from the Young Republicans. Like, these are not children.
Who?
J.D. Vance was
only 41.
The men on this group text are about my age,
But
many
he's
of
being
them.
dismissive of
It's dismissive
of
as
this.
children.
And I want to say to him, if you read these, JD, would you be comfortable saying to your wife, get over it?
Or calling it a joke.
Or calling it
It's not funny.
It's not. There's nothing funny about this. And let me just say one more thing, because people need to remember, a lot of those jokes went away because the people they were being made about did not like them and stopped going to see the people who were telling them. When you recognize that your audience is diminishing, you got to look at your material. And if your material is bad, it's telling you, go taller, do better.
Since when is racism, anti-Semitism, bigotry, homophobia funny?
It never was, and it isn't here.
Wow.
But
It's been funny for years to people.
So I do need to say that Peter Junta, who I was talking about, told Politico he takes complete responsibility and apologized to those offended by the insensitive and inexcusable language. But I would say often when people apologize when they do, sometimes it's because they got caught.
Can I
not
add to
because
that
they-
statement?
right.
Because he
That's
also
right.
questioned whether the text messages had been altered or taken out of context.
Okay.
Well, you know, when you get caught doing something, when you get caught with your pants down, the thing is not to explain why your pants are down. The thing is to pull your pants up.